Speaker today, he would like to also speak. His name is Neil Aaron. He's a math teacher from Waterbury. He has a speech entitled A Moral Defense of Man's Right to Independence. Come on up, Neil.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
On this Independence Day, it is inspiring to see Americans at tea parties across the country. Your outrage over the latest government assault on your lives and wealth is admirable. But is your cause equal to the Boston Tea Party? Have you the resolve to fight those who seek to confiscate your wealth and dispose of your lives? Good. These tea parties are a good start, but today I ask you this. What moral cause have you brought to this fight? The Boston Tea Party was not about higher taxes or wasteful government spending. The greatest country in history was not born of opposition to a particular tax rate. In fact, the Tea Act of 1773 reduced the price of tea. No, America was born of ideas. Ideas on the nature of man and the purpose of government. The American colonists fought for liberty against centuries of feudal tyranny. They held that neither the king, nor society, nor the public had any moral claim to their lives. Their banner read, "For the rights of man." Today we must reclaim America's founding political ideal of individual rights. The principle of individual rights holds that every individual possesses the inalienable right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The only purpose of government is to protect these rights. The moral premise in the concept of individual rights is that each individual has the right to exist for his own sake and is not a means to the ends of others. Therefore, if you seek a value from another, you must be willing to offer values in exchange. In America, the political recognition of individual rights led to the first moral society in history, a society in which men had rights that no others could touch, no matter how great their number or how great their need. It cultivated the common expectation to look upon individuals with genuine benevolence and respect, knowing that they were secure in their basic right to live free. A society of independent citizens eagerly and happily trading values by voluntary consent to mutual profit. This was capitalism. Now some of you may be thinking, wow, that sounds selfish. Yes, that is exactly right. Selfish in the exact meaning of that term. To be selfish means to be concerned with one's own interests. Individual rights established the very first society of self-interest, in which earning a living in one's chosen productive purpose was a primary moral virtue. Independence was the primary measure of an individual's worth, of his personal happiness, his personal success and happiness. As a result, America became the land of individualism and the self-made man. The self-made man does not seek handouts, only the freedom to act, to go into the world and make something of himself. As a rational being, he is competent to live his life, to know his rights, to fight for his happiness. This is the image of man that uniquely distinguishes Americans from the man in the street all the way up to the prime movers, such as Thomas Edison, the Wright brothers, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates. If this idea of individualism seems unusual to you, then that is a symptom of the extent to which moral principles have vanished from our political discourse. And yet, you have come here today in outrage at the government's latest intrusion into your lives, sensing that somehow this time it's not like all the other times. Today our politicians are openly crass and smug in their defiance of our constitutional rights. They are comfortable with the crude manner in which they have taken over the banks and the auto industry. You have come here today because you sense that the corruption which has been eating away at America for almost a century has gained momentum and has now officially arrived. The name of this corruption is statism. S-T-A-T-I-S-M. Statism. Statism is a general term for any political system in which man's life and work belong to the state. How is it possible that statism has come to America? What makes this possible? The answer lies in a deeply entrenched moral premise. The premise that your need gives you claim to the lives of others. You need food, so others should provide you a food stamp program. You need a house, so others should take on undue risk to give you a mortgage. Your industry needs a bailout, so others should pay for it. You need health care insurance, so others should provide it. You need an audience for your controversial ideas, so others should provide you with a television exclusive. You need your rights protected, so others should fight for you. Yes, the premise that need is a claim has culminated in a political system which has turned needs into rights. When needs become rights, it means that some men have the right to force others to fulfill those needs. In such a system, the ability to manipulate and wield power over others becomes the primary measure of a man's virtue, and the ability to live independently is regarded with contempt and suspicion. As an example of this today, we are offered the following perverse standard of justice. On the one hand, if you choose to live independently and fulfill your own needs, to earn your money for your food, clothing, shelter, transportation, and health care, you are condemned as selfish and antisocial and given no moral credit. On the other hand, if you choose to dedicate your life to fulfilling the needs of others, to make others money, others food, others clothing, others shelter, others transportation, others health care, your own personal business. In other words, if you choose to turn yourself into a Washington bureaucrat, you have achieved moral perfection. That's perverse. Need is not a